On the continent of Ante-Isla, the humans were living in harmony until one day when the Dark Lord Satan decided to wage war against humanity. His dream was to build a utopia for demons where they could roam around however they desired, and to achieve this dream, he sent out various armies led by his mighty generals to trample different islands. The victory was almost imminent, however, it escaped their sights once an unsung hero rose up and took up the sword, encouraging others beside him. After finally having a symbol of hope, the humans retaliated and were successful in defeating the enemies, who were slaughtering them not long ago. After getting rid of their enemies on the island, humans soon planned an attack on the Demon King's castle and made their way to the island. The hero manages to enter the Demon King's castle, and even though the enemy's right-hand man comes to his rescue, the Demon King stands no chance against the hero and decides to escape. Before he heads into a portal to a different world, he announces that he will rightfully lend them the continent to rule. However, he also promises that he shall return soon enough to have his revenge. His assistant, Alziel, also accompanies him, and humanity finally sees the golden-bathed sky with happiness on their faces. Afterwards, the two wake up on a mysterious planet and are astonished by how well advanced it is compared to their continent. They are surprised to find themselves in human forms, and each second isn't passed without them despising themselves. The two believe the vehicles run around magic initially and try coming up with different theories. One of the officers spotted them and approached to assist them in case they needed some help. Seeing this, Alziel is enraged that a lowly human tried approaching his master without permission, and he tries to cast magic. However, he is disappointed to learn that he cannot use any magic in this world, and the two have no choice but to accompany the officer to the police station. The two are fascinated by the food. The Demon Lord uses his powers to hypnotize the other so he can gather information about the world they are currently on. After he is done, he heads to Alziel's room and is astonished that the other is only worrying about food in times like these. After hypnotizing the other officer, he explains various rules and laws of Earth to him, and the two escape. Demon Lords have come to the conclusion that magic is basically non-existent in this world, and that is why they cannot maintain their demonic forms, since it requires mana. Alziel demonstrates it to prove him wrong, but is ultimately disappointed when he accidentally signals a taxi. Since they have no place to stay, the Demon Lord informs him that he knows of the process of how to acquire an apartment, and the two have to visit the bank and other places to gather all the documents. After signing everything, they are finally able to get a room in an affordable range, and the two are happy that at least they have a roof over their heads now. Since Mao is too hungry and can't eat anything due to lack of money, he is sent to the hospital, and they have the painful realization of capitalism, earning money just to exist. After getting back, Mao has brought some job applications with him and instructs Ashia to do the same since they will need money for food and clothing. As much as Ashia despises this, he has no choice but to give in to his master's command. Mao has gotten a job and decided to buy a bicycle on his first paycheck. Ashia reprimands him for his rash decision since they have other stuff too and tells him that he should have gone for installments, but the other hates loans. After hearing too much lecturing in the morning, Mao grows tired and decides to head to work. On his way, he encounters a red-haired girl during the downpour and hands her his umbrella before sailing off on his bike. Mao has gotten a job at the classical McDonald's and he is excited about his new journey. He wants to climb up the ranks to get better pay and eventually live a better life, and slowly gets ready to conquer Ante Island once more. Seeing him work so efficiently, his co-worker Sasaki is impressed with him and wants to work just as hard, though she does almost every time ruin it. On the other hand, Ashia has been instructed to visit the library to find out more about the magic so they can find a way to return to their world. However, he is having a hard time figuring everything out and feels that they will go nowhere this way. Mao's boss, Kisaki, informs him and Sasaki about the upcoming competition with other branch, and during their work, Mao notices that one of their flyers is broken. After he complained, he felt he made the worst mistake possible and believed that he would be fired. However, much to his surprise, Kisaki informs him that the superiors are happy with his work and he is given a promotion. On his way back, he is excited to inform Ashia about the pay raise, and he stumbles upon the girl from before. Both of them recognize one another, and Mao is stunned to find that the hero, Emilia, has followed him to this world, while the other is infuriated that someone like him is working as a part-timer at McDonald's. Back when Mao was defeated as a Dark Lord in his realm, and after he escaped, Emilia swore to follow him and butcher him in whatever world he is dwelling in right now. Presently, she confronts him and announces that she is going to defeat him on the spot. However, instead of worrying about his life, Mao is even more surprised about the knife she is carrying, as its price is only 100 yen. Though the other is sure that it will work on him since Mao doesn't have any magical energy left within him, Mao tries to shift the conversation to her holy weapon, but she isn't so dumb and tries to attack him. The two end up answering at the police station, and the officer mistakes them for lovers, enraging her even more. On their way back, she informs Mao that she has located his room and he better sleep with one eye open, since she is going to kill him anytime now. Mao isn't really bothered by her declaration. Emmy gets a job at a call center, and her colleague asks whether she would be interested in lunch at Ronald's. Since it is the restaurant Mao works at, she is disgusted to hear that and immediately declines her request. Later, she watches the TV to enjoy herself, but she can't get it out of her mind that she works for a living. Tell me about it. Mao and Ashiya are discussing their finances like usual and hear a knock on their door. Ashiya is heavily taken aback by finding that it's the hero, and Mao informs them that they should be safe since she cannot even use any magic. Ashiya cannot believe that his master is acting all friendly with her, but at the same time, he doesn't have a choice but to accept her presence. She informs them that during her visit, the head priest was supposed to be with her, but somehow she lost track of him and now she is alone. After she leaves, she decides to keep an eye on him and make sure to eliminate them whenever they show their true nature. However, she is amazed to find that they have no real plan of showing wickedness and decides to confront Mao about this. At night, she stops him and asks about his true intent of living in this world. Mao reveals that his goal now has changed to conquering Japan, and after he becomes the manager of McDonald's, he will start preparations. She's interested in knowing whether he wishes to return to Ante Island, and after he confirms it, she is infuriated that he is still the same old demon. Suddenly, they're attacked by magical bullets, and after they get to someplace safe, the two split up to head back to their apartments. However, since she lost her wallet, she innocently asks Mao about staying at his place, and the other allows her. Ashiya is enraged at this, but as a loyal subordinate, he doesn't question his master, and instead informs him that he has gotten softer. As they are about to sleep, Mao gets a message from Sasaki regarding the earthquakes, making him wonder about their real cause. Mao and Ashiya wake up to find their door locked from the outside. However, Ashiya is surprised when he finds the keys inside the room and reveals that if it was him, he would have taken the keys along with him. Mao is assured that his demonic self hasn't gotten anywhere despite spending time on Earth. Emmy heads to her apartment in the morning only to find that the police are investigating Mao's broken cycle from last night and is enraged that the other is so careless. At her work, she gets an anonymous call informing her about the future attacks on her and the Demon Lord. The other knows about their identity and wants to know why the Demon Lord and the hero would join forces. Afterward, she gets a call from the police station, and after going there, they make her vouch for Mao's identity as he doesn't have an ID yet, and she is infuriated that he is using her as a slave. On their way back, she informs him about the suspicious call, making him wonder who the caller could be. Sasaki has asked them to hang out together, and Ashiya helps him pick out a decent outfit since Mao has terrible taste in fashion. Sasaki is excited about her date, even though the other doesn't harbor any romantic feelings to her. After the two visit a cafe, Ashiya decides to keep a watch on them, and Emmy unexpectedly runs into him. He wants to avoid her, but has no choice but to explain the whole situation. Seeing his date, Emmy gets jealous of Sasaki for having bigger breasts and decides to walk into the cafe. Sasaki explains that she has been experiencing weird things lately, and occasionally a mysterious voice calls out for her. Hearing the details, Mao concludes that it is coming from the other world through magic and assures her that there's nothing to worry about. She is relieved to hear him say that and is grateful that he believes her. Suddenly, he spots Emmy and Ashiya entering the cafe, and she eventually confronts them. Emmy immediately instructs Sasaki to distance herself from Mao, as it would bring nothing but harm to her. Sasaki gets defensive about it and assumes that she is just the usual toxic ex. Suddenly, an earthquake appears and the entire market is destroyed. While they are stuck, Emmy apologizes to Sasaki and assures her that she is only worried about him. Sasaki is flustered when the other informs her that her feelings for Mao are written all over her face. She wants to know about their relationship, but they have no time, and Emmy uses her magic to make her fall asleep. Mao was there all along, and surprisingly, he is in his demonic form. Emi wants to take advantage of the situation and assassinate him right then and there, but when he reveals his worries for the innocents, she is greatly amazed at how he wants to protect humans right now. Emi is drowned in her thoughts about her childhood when she visited her father's fields and his friend was chatting about the demonic army soon defeating them. She instantly got worried hearing this, but her father assured her that the priest would save them, and one day the priest arrived at the village to take her in. Her father says his goodbyes to her and informs her that he was only taking care of her till now because he was instructed to. Emi is the daughter of an angel, and due to various reasons, she had to be raised away from the royal city. After the priest informed her that she is the only one who could possibly defeat the Dark Lord, she was given heavy training. Presently, Mao approaches her to take her out of her thoughts, and she is surprised to find him in his human form. He informs her that the attack was set up and they need to be more careful in the future. It is revealed that Sasaki is the daughter of an inspector. Since she doesn't want her father to know about her date, they decide to leave and Emi heads off with her friend. Ashiya was disappointed that he wasn't much help to his master and wants to be punished, but after the other shows compassion, he starts hugging him like a creep in the street. The two are heading back to their room when police officers instruct the two to follow them for questioning. Emi is at her friend's apartment and she informs him about the earthquake that happened in her town when she was small. She doesn't ask her many questions, and the other is relieved that there is at least someone out there who wouldn't want to trouble others for explaining everything and taking advantage of her. The following day, she returns the money to Mao, and the other is relieved as he was about to go broke. Unexpectedly, she gets injured during her return from his place, and she is stuck there due to her injuries. While Ashiya takes care of her wounds, he constantly reminds her how she would need to repay this, making her enraged. Afterward, Emi just cannot grasp how is he capable of expressing his feelings towards humanity while he explains helping the people out. The demon lord killed the man she considered a father, and she has been dying for revenge ever since that day. However, due to his newly found humanity, she cannot bring herself to hate him and wonders whether she is not right in the head or the entire world is betraying him. Sasaki suddenly barges in and mistakes the situation as a lover's quarrel, immediately running away in embarrassment. The landlady advises that he follows her while Sasaki bumps into a demon who is bent on defeating Mao and Emi. Mao follows her and finds the demon unleashed, immediately recognizing the foe as mighty general Lucifer. High Priest Orba has deluded Lucifer's mind into believing that he can get into the heavens once more, and for that he has waged war against his master. Mao quickly figures it out and insults Zorba's petty scheme. He is about to fight back when the other reveals that he has taken Sasaki as a hostage and they have no other way but to fall back. Lucifer easily tracks them down and Orba shoots Mao in the chest. Desperate to get away, Emi uses the last bit of her power to teleport and get to someplace safe. Lucifer announces the destruction of the whole city, and due to other people's fear, there is enough mana for Mao to absorb to transform and fight back against the foes. After Emi saves Sasaki, she transforms into the hero form to counter Orba, while Mao engages Lucifer in combat. Though it can hardly be called a battle since Mao utterly destroys him and Lucifer has no choice but to apologize for everything he has done to make his master worry. After Sasaki wakes up, she asks about their identities, and Emi isn't shy about revealing everything. Her other party members also arrive on Earth, and she takes him to Mao's place for the while, along with his subordinates repairing the city. Her friends inform Sasaki that the reason she has been hearing their voice was that they only limited it to people who knew about the Dark Lord, and coincidentally, she was thinking of him all the time. Mao is astonished to find them in his room, and they set their rivalry aside for a moment. After everything is sorted out, they get ready to return to Ante Island to make sure nothing happens there, though even they are surprised by Mao's development. Mao and Ashiya celebrate the former's promotion at work, while Urashihara learns about different stuff on the internet. He has been getting good at hacking other networks, and they test it out by annoying Emi. She is enraged that they disturb her during her work, and visits Mao to unleash her rage. The other informs her that it was Urashihara's idea, and he has nothing to do with it. She doesn't understand how he could keep someone who tried to kill him. But oh well, she just cannot grasp his compassion for his subordinates. Back at the apartment, they are surprised by a sudden letter from the landlady, and upon opening it, they would prefer being skinned alive by Emi than looking at the photo. Ashiya quickly contacts Mao, and after he takes a look, he is disgusted and deviates from the conversation. Urashihara explains that he has found a place that is brimming with magic and instructs them to head there. Since it is located at Sasaki's school, she accompanies them at night, and Emi also follows them. After doing a thorough search, they find a handheld console, and Mao finally realizes that it was all Urashihara's scheme to get his console back. With disappointment on their faces, they return back to beat the living worm out of Lucifer. The following night, as he arrives at his apartment, Mao finds a young lady falling off the stairs, and he doesn't hesitate to save her. What trouble does the new character bring? What do you guys think? Let us know down in the comments, as we'd love to hear from you, and we'll all find out in the next episodes. As always, thanks for watching. Drop us a like and subscribe to Annie Recapped to find more awesome animes like this to watch on your feed. With that said, we'll see you in the next one. Peace!